This is the Henarathgoda Botanical Garden in Gampaha, and there is a small board, but it's very faded. Actually, they should give justice to this beautiful place. And this was established in 1876, 100 years after the American Revolution, and now 150 years since the establishment of this park. Originally, it was established to plant rubber, experimental rubber plantation, and now they are subsequently they use it for other crops. And here the entrances are here, and these two gentlemen are looking there, and the tickets for locals are about just under 300 rupees, and this is about 44 acres. Originally this rubber plantation was 35, and now you will see in most of Sri Lankan botanical gardens a row of royal palms, and these royal palms are originally from Cuba and Panama. And here let me show you one of these signs. They are called Cuban royal palms, Roystonia regia, and they are in the Aracanut family. So this is a small publishing book outlet here where they sell books, but no, nothing is being sold. So what I wanted to show you is these are young royal palms that have been planted, because these old trees after some time will have to be cut down. They will be slowly dying after a certain amount. So now what they have done is, in between these trees they have planted these smaller trees, these younger trees. So after some time they will replace the original trees, and this is a cycle of life that continues. And so today is a beautiful day, and there is a lot to see in this historical botanical garden, one of 6 botanical gardens in Sri Lanka. So the parking for a vehicle is 300 rupees, and a ticket for a local is with VAT and all under 300 rupees. Foreigners have to pay in dollars, probably about $10 per person, and seniors also, Sri Lankan seniors and students, foreign students also get a discount. So it's a beautiful place, and these flags are Buddhist flags, because Poson is coming on Monday, on Monday in a few days. Poson is the historical landmark where Buddhism was brought to Sri Lanka. Comparatively, this is a small botanical garden, only 47 acres. Originally it was 35 acres, and when the British started this botanical garden, it was not originally a botanical garden, more of a research center. They were more interested to plant rubber. At that time, rubber was a secret seed. Then only Brazil had it, and the British somehow or other managed to get these seeds, and the first rubber seed was planted in this garden. It was in this garden. Originally this was 35 acres, and then in 2005 7 more acres was added, and this is about 42 acres, 42 to 45 acres. So that is the acreage. And Henarathgoda Botanical Gardens advantages, it is near Colombo, you see, in Gampaha, you see, with a short distance of about like 35 kilometers, there you can get a botanical garden. So the difference between a normal garden and a botanical garden is, in these botanical gardens there are special research is also conducted, okay, on plant species. Then they have lots of international plants from other countries. So so that people sees not only native endemic trees but also trees of other countries. So actually in Sri Lanka, lot of the trees in the garden, in our gardens, are not necessarily endemic or local. They are brought by the colonial colonies from the Portuguese, Dutch, and finally the British. They also brought all kinds of plants from South America, from the Pacific, from other Asian countries. Most of these tropical countries, they brought these plants and they planted here. So that is the reason why you call it a botanical garden instead of, we also have gardens, but there is a difference where there is a lot of research being done. Certain plants are being done on pilot projects, the success of these things. So here, although it's in Colombo, little out of Colombo, you really feel very cool, very calm. Lots of birds. There are 80 species of birds found here. 80 types of birds found here, and about a quarter of them are endemic to Sri Lanka. That is also very unique. You see somebody who, and now you can hear a lot of bird noises coming from these trees. It might not get recorded enough, but they are in the distance on the high in the canopy. These trees are there. Now this is the location where the first rubber tree was planted, and what I have is this gentleman called Henry Wickham. Okay, he was the first person to introduce the rubber seed to Sri Lanka, and this is Mohandiram de Soisa, who was the first caretaker. De Soisa, you remember the De Soisa circus at Colombo 7. You see De Soisa circus. And so now I want to give a little introduction why rubber was planted in Sri Lanka. They planted rubber in India, and it was not successful. And later they brought it to Ceylon. And in Ceylon they plant, these are rubber trees, you will see. They planted 7 acres of rubber. And then the reason they found out was in Sri Lanka at Gampaha, it so happens Sri Lanka has the perfect condition of the Amazon in Brazil. Can you believe it that Sri Lanka has the Amazon climate? And so it was very successful. They harvested the seeds, and then they distributed these seeds to other countries, Malaysia and India, Burma, today Myanmar. And these are some of the tools I am showing. And eventually larger countries like Malaysia successfully grew rubber with the seeds taken from Ceylon, from Sri Lanka, the earlier name. And this is also one of the original trees. But one of the original trees that was the first, that is here, which I showed you here, was knocked down in 2005 due to a cyclone. So these roots are here, but these trees are there. So this is the history of the rubber industry that started globally from this small place. And here what we are seeing are some of the administrative buildings that you will see. Good morning. Administrative buildings you see, and although it is a small botanical garden, but it has immense valuable history, and there is security always here looking after this place, maintaining, and there are 60 staff, and here para rubber So here and it says Brasiliensis euphorbiaceae. I am murdering the words, but forgive me for that. But this says it's Brazil, and let me give a larger picture of this. This is what you will see. This is the large rubber trees that was originally planted. Now most rubber trees you see are actually very small rubber trees. You know, like what you see there in the distance. But these are large trees. Luckily, we have preserved it. I will give a little bit of a history of this place. This is another variety of a rubber tree. There are several rubber trees that they had planted. They tried several varieties of rubber, and finally they selected the variety that was most suitable, most productive. And this is there are several. I never knew there were several types of rubber trees, but actually they are rare. You see, that is why you have to come to a botanical garden to see the difference. Now here, this is a rubber tree that is from Malaysia. Okay, Gutta purcha tree. Okay, Palaquium gutta supportaceae. I don't know what is this. These are some probably Latin terms, but it's from Malaysia. So this tree, you can see the difference. Now the other one was from Brazil, and this is from Malaysia. So there have been some endemic rubber trees even in Asia, which we didn't know. We always thought rubber trees came from Brazil, but actually the Brazilian rubber trees probably would have been the most productive, that yielded a lot of latex, and so there are several that they tried, and now this is successful. This is at the Gampaha Botanical Gardens, also known as the Henarathgoda Botanical Gardens, and I am taking a video of the boat service that's here. That has been recently introduced boat service, and it's by the Kalani River, and this is one of the 6 botanical gardens in Sri Lanka. And here I want to show that this area where they have this boat service. This is where the boat service is. It's quite early in the morning, so that there's nobody around for the boat service. Nevertheless, there is also a laboratory to understand plant pathogens. They take certain disease plants and see what's wrong, and then they do that. Also in this particular building, it houses the tissue culture. So they do tissue cultures, and this is done. And this is a royal palm, and these are students. These are students who are here to learn about plant cultivation, management, disease control, and so these are students that are all walks of life. Most of them are retired people, so that they learn how to do nurseries and have an income. So there's a group of about 30. This is the foliage plant house where they demonstrate some of these plants, and here they have laid out in such a way. Now you can see how they have shaded these plants, because these plants require a lot of shade. That's why they have made this special effort. And these are some of the plants here. These are aglaonemas. These are aglaonemas. They're of different colors, aglaonemas, and here I'm showing these aglaonemas. And these are calatheas. Now these calatheas are actually grown under the shade of other trees. So this doesn't like much sunlight. but nevertheless it needs this kind of light, sunlight, for it to give the vibrant colors. So if there's no sunlight, the colors are very weak. So here I'm showing some of these plants. This is a very expensive plant, over $150 for a plant like this, and I don't know whether it's the rarity or the difficult to grow. So these plants are everywhere in Sri Lanka and grows. These are monstera. These are variegated monsteras, and they call it a nickname as alligator. I don't know why they call it alligator, but this is also quite expensive, but not very common in many gardens. But so there are lots of beautiful. Now these are begonias. Now begonias is another plant that love the shade. And begonias, there are varieties and varieties of begonias. So you can see the colors of these begonias. You see the colors of these begonias. So very interesting. Those who are interested in plants, this is an area that really would hold their interest and spend some time, fascinate them. And these leaves are of different colors and hues, different shades, different shapes. You see, some are crinkled like lettuce leaves. Okay, some are like castor leaves. Okay, and then you have this very colors, beautiful colors. And if you notice, the shade here is much higher, denser than the shade over there on that side. You see, there they need more light. So that is how they have arrange the lighting and managing of this. And they say that all the plants that are grown in nature doesn't have the same vibrancy, it does not have the same vibrancy as these plants. These same plants planted in a garden or in the shade of another garden without these facilities will not be as colorful or beautiful. You might put the fertilizer, you might water it. It is always conditions. Okay, the sunlight, the moisture in the air, okay, the amount of air circulation, and also undisturbed locations. So this is how where we can get an idea of planting something. And this is all done inside a greenhouse. This greenhouse is kind of open. Here, more calatheas, and these are beautiful calatheas, fairly expensive, okay, and can be easily grown, but must grow with a certain level of knowledge to understand its nutrition intake and things. So people just buy because it's beautiful and then end up killing the plants, and I'm equally guilty of that ignorance, but there are so many. Now this is the bonsai house, and these bonsais are located. Originally, the bonsai plantation was done by the Chinese. The Chinese started this thousands of years ago. They took these trees and they created these beautiful miniatures of a tree. And all trees cannot be made bonsai also. All trees cannot be made bonsai. And the Chinese started this, and the Japanese, through the cultural exchanges in historical times, they took over. And they have mastered the craft, the art. And now they have called it bonsai. So they are using the Japanese word bonsai to give clarity to the type of agriculture, type of planting. And so here, and it is said that when President Nixon went to China first time, he had seen one of the bonsai plants that was 600 years old, and at that time he had offered a sum of 50,000 to the Chinese government to sell that bonsai plant. But however, for whatever reason, that they have not accepted it. In the 1976, almost 76 now 50 years ago, I think $50,000 was a princely sum. But nevertheless, and China was very poor economically. They were trying to start, and all the time at that time Chinese were riding bicycles, and it was a different era. But however, the Chinese would have thought twice about giving a 600-year plant for 50,000, whatever it is. So that's the history I learned. So this is very interesting, and there are lot of other bonsai plants I have seen, much more beautifully done. Here you need a specialist to create these bonsai plants, and this is the bonsai area. I am going to show a very common fruit but a rare tree. This is called in Sinhala Galsiyambala, and we used to eat this when we were in school, and we used to buy from the Galsiyambala, the sour thing, sour velvety cover. So it is called tamarind, velvet tamarind, and believe it, this tree is found only in Sri Lanka. A very unique tree, only in Sri Lanka. So we have eaten a lot of tamarinds, but this Galsiyambala, but never saw a tree. So now you can see these trees in the Monaragala and the dry zone, but this is doing well. A very tall tree, endemic to Sri Lanka.